Hello watch fans, this is Anders here on Watch On channel. Today I have a very interesting historical heritage field style explorer's watch in for review. As you can see here on the packaging, it is a watch from Nivada Grenchen, the revived Swiss brand. It was a brand which was originally established in 1926, and this is the Super Antarctic. Antarctic was the old field style, explorer style watch from the 1950s. Now they made the Super Antarctic, which is a modern remake. So let's see what we have inside of the box. Really nice white leather here with the gold printing of Nivada Grenchen and the logo, and then we open here. And here we find the Super Antarctic. It comes in several different versions. You can get one with numerals 3, 6 and 9. You can get it with different colors of the loom, a kind of greenish bluish loom, the white loom to have the more modern look, and this aged loom if you want a more vintage looking Super Antarctic from Nivada Grenchen. So before we get into the full review with all the details and all the specifications of this interesting little explorer's watch here, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. It is a big help. I'm very close to 25,000 subscribers. Thank you very much. So you may remember I recently actually did review another Nivada Grenchen watch. This is the CHRONOMASTER. This is the remake of the very famous chronograph dive style watch. As you see here, CHRONOMASTER Aviator Sea Diver. If you want to see the full review of this watch, you can find the link down in the description or up in the right hand corner right now. So let's get into the Super Antarctic. You can also choose between a lot of different straps. I think for this aged vintage look that the brown leather strap looks the best. So up and close here with the watch, you see very simple layout. I applied hour markings with the triangles, which is kind of a design cue of the Super Antarctic at 12, 3, 6 and 9. Then you have this very long sword style minute hand and this lollipop hour hand here, kind of the Rolex Mercedes hand without the Mercedes logo, and then a very almost completely hidden anonymous seconds hand. You only have Nivada Grenchen or Nivada Aquamatic up here at below 12 o'clock, and then you have Super Antarctic 25 rubies, and then a glossy black dial, which is not too shiny, not too glossy. I really get vibes from the Rolex Explorer, of course, but also the Omega Railmaster. So this is kind of an affordable version of those watches. You see very slightly domed sapphire crystal, a very interesting case design. You see here almost these kind of the own version of Omega's lyre locks with this really nice angle here to the inner part of the lock. Just really gives some character to the case. Really nice little detail. Then you have a very high polished bezel, just like for example we see on the Rolex Datejust. So it kind of gives this watch a dressy look. It is essentially a sports watch. Turning the watch over, we get this really nice case back here, Swiss made. You get 100 meters of water resistance with this watch, which is really nice. And then an interesting little thing is this kind of onion shaped crown. Very vintagey, brushed on the sides. And then the leather strap is really high quality, signed buckle here. I really like the fact that Nivada Grenchen, they kept it very original with the size as well, because this isn't a very big watch, but it wears really nicely. So approximately 38 millimeters in diameter, 11.6 millimeters thick, approximately 20 millimeter lock width here, so you can definitely find a lot of other straps. And then you have a very short lock to lock of only 44.9. It does wear a little bit bigger than it actually is with the measurements. We'll see that just in a few seconds when I put it on my wrist. So just a little about the heritage and the history of this watch. Because the Antarctic watch from Nivada Grenchen was actually made famous by the American war hero and Admiral and Arctic explorer Admiral Byrd. So in 1955 to 1956 he actually explored the Antarctic in the Operation Deep Freeze. They had 3 different operations and he actually wore the Antarctic during these operations. So it's definitely also a watch with real heritage, although this is of course a modern remake. So I can definitely understand if some people don't like this aged loom here, the super luminova. Let's just have a loom shot while we're talking about it. I like the overall quality of the loom of this watch, it's not super strong, it's not super long lasting. This isn't a dive watch, it's much more of a field watch or an explorer's watch. So of course you can get the other color variations and other dial layouts with different colors. If you don't like the aged loom here, you can definitely just go for the white one to have a more modern contemporary look. Again, the case back here, I really like the engraving and the gold here, which is of course just stainless steel. Also easy removal spring bars. This watch will definitely also look very cool on a NATO strap in my opinion, because you get this very kind of military explorer's look with the NATO strap as well. It's a very interesting movement. The first time I tried one of these movements, it is the Subhot P024. It is a high beat 28,800 revolutions per hour movement. It has a power reserve of only 38 hours, which is the same as the Sellita SW200 movement. And as you can see on your screen now, I get really nice accuracy with this movement, really nice amplitude, so it's a very strong, healthy movement, which is also quite accurate. If you want the one with the stainless steel bracelet, you move towards $950. If you choose to have one of these watches, this exact version here, for example, with the leather strap, it's $750. I'm really liking this watch. It's not perfect. Definitely something about the AR treatment. Now you just see with my studio lights here. It is very shiny and glossy. Also, it is a smudge magnet because of the bezel. So if you really don't like smudges, this bezel can definitely irritate you. I like the overall look. It's kind of a both dressy and kind of vintage and sporty look. So let's try the watch on my wrist, and I am actually just wearing a completely new watch. This is the completely new TITONI AIRMASTER, just fresh from the factory. If you want to see my first impressions unboxing of this watch, you can click the link down in the description or up in the right hand corner. And here the Super Antarctic is on my 17.5 centimeter wrist circumference. You can see, even though it's a small watch, less than 38 millimeters in diameter and only 49.5 millimeters from lock tip to lock tip, the design, this inner part, actually kind of just gives it this longer lock look, which is quite interesting that you get this optical illusion. Also, you get a lot of dial because you have a very slim bezel, as you can see. That also makes the watch wear a little bit bigger. But overall, I think it's so nice that they chose this 38 millimeter size. It's really nice that companies, they tend to make smaller watches again and not these big, huge 44 millimeter watches. So to conclude my review, I must say I'm very happy about this watch. I have very few gripes. One of my gripes, as I said before, the AR treatment. Another gripe, or not gripe, but I'm really not a super huge fan of the hour hand. They could definitely have done something else, but it's of course an original look for this hour hand, and it's not too much Rolex. I really like the vintage feel and aesthetics of this watch, and it wears really nicely on the wrist because it's very light. So let's just try to weigh it. So only 57.5 grams. You can understand why it feels very light on the wrist. So I hope you enjoyed the full review of the Super Antarctic from Nivada Grenchen. I think this is a really great alternative to the much more expensive Rolex Explorer or even the Omega Railmaster and other field style watches. You get real heritage, a nice Swiss movement, really nice design, very nice wearability with this watch for $750. I think that's a fair price. So all, I like this watch, but of course I can definitely understand if some people find it too small, or some people simply just like the look or like the aged loom. But then you can again just find another version of this watch. Have a look at their website. This was in for a loan, so it's going back, full disclosure on that as well. If you enjoyed this review, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram and Facebook, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment down in the description, and I will see you very soon again. Thank you, bye.